thing as we're laughing here on the set at Loose on the Lead. Mark Casse's joining us, and it is a big day for the Casse team. Almost every day is a big day for the Casse team.
Hopefully it's a successful day.
There you go. There you go. Well, Mark, a couple of different topics. Today, of course, the 2-year-old steak, the Saratoga special. We talked with Mike Welsh earlier about the 2-year-old coming in for Mrs. Weber. You and I talked about the winner when he broke his maiden. We watched the video. Couldn't have done it any easier. Has to make the transition to the dirt here today, and he's got that fascinating pedigree. Lonhro, the Australian galloper, out of In the Gold, the Grade 1 winner for Mrs. Weber that won the Gazelle downstate, and this feels like a horse that could be any kind, as they say.
You know, I try not to make judgment on any horse until he runs a few times. But if I had to kind of step out a little bit and say, I think this horse is a good horse. I think he is. You know, we haven't had the best luck here yet at Saratoga, so I kind of hold my breath. But, you know, I brought him over here. I brought him Saratoga, and I thought if he trained good on the dirt, I'd run him. If I didn't, I was going to run him on the grass here. And you notice I've got him in on the dirt.
You got him in on the dirt. Hey, for those that were watching, you could see that Holding Gold was down on the rail, and you know, not easy. That was his debut as well, and not easy for a horse to do that, and then just steered out and ran him down and one eased up. So yeah. This was impressive, and it does also feel like, you know, distance won't be an issue down the road, obviously, with that pedigree. So for him to win early going short, and here 6.5 furlongs, it looks like a huge opportunity.
You know, I was trying to think back. We won a few 2-year-old races at Woodbine over the years, and I really don't remember one of our horses going in 57 flat, and this horse went 57 flat. Obviously, it's much easier to come from out of it on the synthetic. It just doesn't throw back as hard as the dirt does here. So, you know, it's definitely a concern. What I've seen in the morning, I would say, to me, if A, B, C, or D, I would give him an A. I think he's trained extremely well, and I've been looking forward to this day.
Well, and certainly happy to root for Mrs. Weber and this setting as well. Big opportunity. Want to talk about the races up at Woodbine as well today before we transition back to Saratoga, including conversation about the sale. And I bring that up because Conquest Boogaloo is coming out of the Prince of Wales and the Queen's Plate. The breeders, the third leg of the Canadian Triple Crown today. And of course, for those of you unfamiliar, they go from Woodbine, 1.25 miles on the main, to the Prince of Wales, a 1 3/16 miles on the dirt at Fort Erie, then back to Woodbine, 1.5 miles on the grass as a change-up. And Conquest Boogaloo, 3 New York bred purchases last night in the first night of the sale, and we'll talk about that too, but give us your breeder's take with a pair in here.
Well, you know, I mean, most scat daddies like the grass. Last year he only ran one time on it, and the turf was a little soft. It's going to be a different type turf today. I don't know why he didn't run better last time in Prince of Wales. It may have been the dirt. It may have been we tried a different tactic. He actually finally broke that day and was up close. I don't know if that bothered him. But I would expect him to run well. Feel the Courage ran great in the Prince of Wales. Eurico probably moved a little quick on him, and he would admit that himself. And, you know, we won the breeders with his father, March Field. So we'll see. It's a big day of racing. That race has been very good to us. I think we've won it a few times. So, you know, it's been good to us. Hopefully it's good to us again today.
Can't keep track of you know you're a big outfit when you can't keep track of how many Triple Crown races from Canada you've won.
And talk a little bit about him in the Queen's Plate, where a lot of people thought he came out of that as kind of the wise guy horse.
This horse is he should have won the, I forget what the race was before it. He had just a terrible trip there. Then in the Queen's Plate, he actually should have won his last 3 races. He got bothered in the prep up to the plate trial. And then, of course, we had the unfortunate incident in the plate trial of our other horse who wiped him out. So not only did we lose our horse that we wiped ourselves out, And then in the Queen's Plate, he just got annihilated at the start and gave up everybody 20 lengths. The thing about that horse that I find amazing is he has unbelievable turn speed, and he's got a quick turn of foot. And maybe we took that away from him the other day, you know.
Well, in addition to the breeders today, there is the co-feature because the Grade 2 Sky Classic, just a field of 6, and they're going to go 1.25 miles. And people may not realize, but Mr. Speaker, the Phipps McGahee is in here at 9 to 5 with your A-team rider.
Yeah, and that's why I knew he was in there.
Yeah, you knew because Patrick Husbands is riding Mr. Speaker.
And I knew he was coming. I was trying to get Patrick, so.
Well, Sky Flight, though, for Mr. Oxley. Jack Oxley sends out this nice Sky Mesa colt coming out of the race here back opening week. And talk a little bit about this Sky Classic. Just a group of 6, but Atfield also imposing with Are You Kidding Me?
You know, Skyflight's last race was better than it looked. We've been really unfortunate. You know, the first thing when you come here is you don't really want to draw outside in the turf races, and we've been doing really good at that. We've been catching the outside all the time. That horse had a really wide trip, and I still haven't really figured out Skyflight. I think he struggles a little bit with the sharper turns. I thought maybe taking him up to Woodbine, he's a huge horse, you know, that might help him. But he has to step up his game. You know, he's playing with the big boys now. He's done well, but like I said, he's got to step up his game.
I want to touch on Woodbine before we move on and just ask, I'm curious if there's any buzz among the horsemen on the surface change that's coming up.
There's always buzz on everything, you know. You know, half want and half don't. I kind of stay out of that. Everybody thinks that I have a big influence over it because we run so many, and I don't. So I kind of stay away from it. You know, I think it's the right move, and so. No,
Tapeta, out of the synthetic surfaces, that seems to be the one that it gets the least amount of complaints. You're out of Golden Gate and at Prescott.
Right.
But have you had much experience over it?
No, I haven't. I've run a few at Prescott. The key with Tapeta is that you have a company that stands behind it and continually working on it. The problem with what happened with Polytrack was these guys came, they put it in and said it was supposed to be maintenance free, and then they left. And, you know, so it was a learning deal. And we won't go there. But I still think, you know, a well-maintained synthetic track is a very good track. So, and we're excited to get the Tapeta because also with Tapeta you got Michael Dickinson and his team coming that will be a big part of taking care of it. That's the key, you know.
Got to also talk a little bit, Mark, as we come back to Saratoga. And in the 7th race today, here is Moonlight Bandit is finally back. And, you know, with all the hype about certain horses returning, he's kind of come in a little bit under the radar in this interesting 1 1/8 turf allowance as the 7th. He was last seen in the Tampa Bay Derby. Give us an update on Jack Oxley's Windstar bred Malibu Moon gelding.
You know, he's training well. I would expect him to run well. As you say, you know, we're big. We give a lot of horses time off, and this horse, we gave him some time. We're trying to, you know, this is going to sound crazy to you. Saratoga is a big meet for us, but we have Kentucky Downs coming up here in about a month.
Sure.
And for instance, the colt that got beat yesterday, Sky Hero, I think he ran for a $90,000 purse. Next month he'll run for a $130,000 purse. I was saying to somebody today, I said, you know what we call those? Stakes. Well, you know, so you know, we're trying to get getting some races in horses. I think he'll run well. Can he win? I don't know. You know, it's a tall task.
Well, and you mentioned Sky Hero, who the question about him yesterday was the turf. He ran very well. I thought you couldn't have been disappointed too badly with the second in there.
I have to tell you, Sky Mesa as a sire is just unbelievable. You can win with them going 5/8 of a mile. You can win. You got Dynamic Sky runs 1.5 miles. They run on turf. They run on poly. They run on dirt. They're just amazing. I never worry when I put a Sky Mesa in what surface I'm running on. I didn't have any question whether that horse would run. Plus, he's out of a Danzig mirror. That horse has that's a homebred. That horse has a tremendous pedigree, you know.
There's no doubt.
And I wouldn't be surprised if that horse stays healthy. You'll see him. I think he's a stake horse.
Well, I should mention, you second there, and there were a lot of twos on your page the last couple of days, and the 2 wins at the meet, but you've had just return to grace yesterday in the Pucker Up. Ran what could have been a winning race. You had the huge upset from Patty Miller, wins at 14-1 in that Pucker Up yesterday. Sky Hero second in the Vandal. You were second with Conquest Daddy-O, and on and on and on.
Well, it's been crazy. I think in the last 2 months, we have been second or third in 10 graded stakes, and I would say if you combined all their losses, it would be less than a length and a half. I mean, it's just it's been crazy. It's been tough here for us. You know, we're used to winning, and this is a tough place. We've had some bad luck. I was saying something to somebody yesterday. I have a man that worked for me for 35 years, and he would tell it the way it is. And his famous saying one time, he told me, he said, "You're going so bad," he said, "I'd leave you out of an all ticket." And I was like, that's the way I feel. Somebody showed me a statistic where when we won the other day, we were 0 for 30-something from going on to the dirt here. And I said, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. So, but we're going to turn it around. We had a good day yesterday, day before, and we have some good 2-year-olds. You're going to see them. You're going to see them. They may, like I said, we develop them more. It takes them a little while sometimes, so we'll see them.
Finally, with Anna Seitz joining us shortly from Fasig-Tipton, 3 purchases last night. Are you guys done with Conquest, or some more New York breds?
There may be another 1 or 2. We're looking at New York, and we're going to try to move. We're going to come here and we're going to run, and if you're going to run in New York, you better have some New York breds. And the great thing about New York breds is when we buy horses, we don't buy them just because they're New York breds. We buy them because we like the pedigrees. We want to think we're buying the next Oaks winner or the Derby winner, but it's always a bonus. It's a little insurance when you do have a New York bred or a Canadian bred or something like that. So, we're into that kind of stuff.
Well, and in fact, as I reach for the results from last night, 3 6-figure purchases. So, I mean, among a number of the top knockdowns, and you were busy as well at the select sale.
Yeah, we did. The select sale, I think Mr. Oxley bought 3. Mrs. Weber bought 1 that we were part of, To Honor to Serve, which
right.
I have to tell you, I was the underbidder on the one last night, and I really like his foals. And then Mr. Masterson, he kind of
that bought 3. He
kind of goes on it. He just kept passing me and giving me tickets, and I kept saying good. So
that's so funny.
He was having a great time. The man loves life, and we've had a lot of luck. So we ended up with 7 out of there. So
wow. And 3 so far at the New York sale, and of course Masterson, who owns Tepin, we're going to see her next win.
And the Boston Spot.
Boston Spot, good, excellent.
Well, I wanted to touch on just before because okay. Mike Welch mentioned Holding Gold had a workmate the other day, and I wondered if we could find out who that was.
Hero. Hero, not Desert Hero.
I'm trying to remember who his workmate. Oh.
He said it was an unraced 2-year-old.
No, it wasn't Sky Hero. Sky Hero was yesterday. I can't. You know what? Honestly, I can't remember.
All right. Well, we'll have to look for.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
We'll work out on.
I have it.
Oh, tell me who it was.
I will tell you who it is. Here it is.
We breached a few that day, and I don't remember. I know Holding Gold was outside, and I remember looking at my watch, thinking that he went in about. Well, I was looking at him and thought he went in 49, and when he went in 47, I was like, whoa.
Not Hero. 0 hour.
0 hour. 0 hour is a good horse. 0 hours by Bernardini. Belongs to Charlotte Weber. I can't remember what she paid, 1.3 or 1.4 million dollars for him. But no, we bought him out of the March OBS sale. You're going to see him. He worked extremely well yesterday out of the gate. He's a Bernardini, like I said, big stretchy horse. I would say he would be one of our classic horses. You may see him run here on the grass, and we ran a horse the other day who, for me, was the perfect Conquest Windy City, kind of laid back, made a big run, and came with a right run. That's what I like to see out of our young horses. The problem is with the dirt racing, some of them can't take the kick back. So you'll see where I'll run a lot more horses on the grass for that reason, making their first start. I tell you what, the colt we have in on Wednesday, he's a pretty good horse. Game Town. We're running 5.5. I know Todd likes his horse, and there's some nice horses in there, but Game Town's a good horse.
Mark Casse and the Casse operation mentions the OBS sale. Very active, of course, with the operation in Ocala and running horses at Gulfstream and running horses at Woodbine and Saratoga and anywhere there's opportunities. We're going to have an opportunity to talk to Anna Seitz Chianello from Fasig-Tipton. She also bought a horse last night, she and Abby Atzett, for all about the girls' partnership, and we'll talk about both Anna's Fasig-Tipton work and her syndicate work when she joins us next, as we thank Mark Casse and wish him luck today and beyond.
I always say I hope you want to talk to me again in the day.
They may talk to you tomorrow on the radio.
I hope so.
I appreciate Mark Casse, everybody.
Okay.
We'll take a time out.